Happy Friday, everyone. Bass here. It is time to preview the Week 4 matchup. The 2-1 Green Bay Packers taking on the 1-2 New England Patriots in Lambeau, 4:25 Eastern this Sunday. After a huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, the Packers aim to continue their win streak after losing Week 1. So let's go over this game preview, important matchups, and things to watch for. Before we get into the game preview, I did want to remind you guys I am giving away this signed Christian Watson helmet, so we'll see if he ends up playing this weekend. But in order to enter in this giveaway, basically go to pristineauction.com, register on their website, use code BASS, B-A-S at registration, and you'll be entered in this giveaway. You also receive a free $10 voucher on your next order. Again, that's at pristineauction.com, register using code BASS, B-A-S. All right, so now back into the preview and going into my first point. Now, these are in no order, but for my first one, I have force the Patriots to throw the football. With Mac Jones likely out for this game, Brian Hoyer is set to be the starting quarterback in this game, and the Patriots are still acting like Mac Jones has a chance to play. I believe he was at the start of practice today, and I think that's all smoke. I don't believe that for a second. I think Bill Belichick is playing games. So for this preview, I am going to assume that Brian Hoyer is the starting quarterback of the Patriots. And in that regard, you want to make Brian Hoyer beat you through the air, not being a game manager and handing off the ball the entire game. Both Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson are very capable running backs in this league and form a good two-headed backfield over there in New England. Stevenson has 5 yards per carry this year and Harris with 4.6 yards per carry. But over the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, the Patriots team threw the ball on an average of 32 times a game. So forcing the ball into Brian Hoyer's hand is definitely the way to go. Hoyer's last start for New England was Week 4 of the 2020 season, and he threw for only 130 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception in a 10-26 loss to Kansas City. So Brian Hoyer's not going to come out here and dot you up and throw a bunch of yards and touchdowns against you. So you really just have to force the ball into his hands. Stop the Patriots early on first down, second down. Stop their runs early on through Harris, through Stevenson, and force third and long, and force Brian Hoyer to throw the ball on you to convert. This Patriots offense has already been kind of struggling under Mac Jones. I believe they're number 1 in turnover rate. So they should struggle even more with Brian Hoyer hypothetically at the helm against a stout Green Bay defense that has looked really good these past couple weeks. Next on this list, I have continue to protect Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots are tied for 5th in the NFL with 10 total sacks through the first 3 weeks. Dietrich Wise has 4 and Matt Judon with 3. So this is a dangerous front 7 to not take lightly. The Packers did an excellent job last week, only allowing 1 sack against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I thought was definitely a win. Whenever the Packers play the Buccaneers, it seems like Aaron Rodgers is getting pressure at every play and they allow 3 to 4 sacks. So to only allow 1 sack last week, that was super, super impressive. Now they did allow 10 pressures last week, but the Packers also did a good job getting the ball out quickly, at least in the first half, that is. And that needs to be kind of the same thing this week, in my opinion. Now, we'll see how much David Bakhtiari does indeed play this week. He is set to play again. There's been no setbacks. Obviously, he's swapped in and out with Josh Nijman at left tackle every other drive last week. Whether or not we'll see him more than half the snaps, we'll see. But he played a great game last week in the limited snaps he did have. He was actually the highest graded pass blocking lineman on Green Bay last week. And this offensive line is finally starting to get healthy. Elton Jenkins, back at right tackle. John Runyon, Josh Myers, left guard and center. Royce Newman at right guard. And then Bakhtiari getting back at left tackle. Josh Nijman's been a great fill-in. And I think at the end of the day, if they wanted to, when Bakhtiari is fully healthy, they could technically put Josh Nijman at right tackle and then slide Elton Jenkins into right guard. But we'll see exactly what happens when that time comes. I don't know if Bakhtiari is fully ready to play a full game. I guess we'll get a big telltale sign to see if it's the same as last week this week or a little bit more snaps. But when this offensive line unit is fully healthy, I do believe it can be a top 3 offensive line in the NFL. Next on my list, I have keep giving the ball to Romeo Dobbs. Last week was a huge week for rookie Romeo Dobbs and the Packers offense as a whole. It seems they might have struck gold in the 4th round of this last draft. Now, of course, it is early. It is still week 4 of the NFL season, but Romeo Dobbs has looked great through training camp, preseason, and so far through this NFL season. 8 targets, 8 receptions last week, 73 yards and a touchdown. He looked really, really good. This needs to continue the way they were kind of getting him the ball. The offense was rolling. Anytime the ball was going his way, the offense, was moving down the field, whether that was through designed RPOs where he ran a deep dig or RPO into his slant, or even that fake toss bootleg where Romeo Dobbs came across the formation and Aaron Rodgers had a quick, easy pass to him for, 10 yards. They need to come back to that in this game and in general just keep giving Romeo Dobbs the football. Aaron Rodgers is seemingly starting to build more and more trust with this rookie wide receiver, and he will likely continue to go his way. Now we'll see if the other rookie wide receiver, Christian Watson, ends up playing in this game. He was a full participant in practice yesterday and likely will be the same today. We'll see when that official update comes out what his designation is for this upcoming game. Obviously with that hamstring injuries linger around a lot, but adding Watson into the mix with up and rising Romeo Dobbs could definitely open quite a bit on this offense in terms of the deep ball or taking the top off the defense, allowing Romeo Dobbs, open holes over the middle or underneath this Patriots defense. If Christian Watson is taking the top or taking a safety every play on a deep route, that could definitely help this offense a lot as well. But overall, I don't think there's any argument to say that Romeo Dobbs shouldn't be starting. I think he has earned the spot to be a starting wide receiver opposite Allen Lazard on the outside. I think that will be the case going into this game and going forward, and he should see a lot of the ball. Lastly, I have winning the battle of field position. The one thing the Patriots and Bill Belichick are consistently good at is field position. But surprisingly enough, the Packers so far this year have done a great job at controlling that field position battle. The punt team has been super impressive under Pat O'Donnell. Rudy Ford's looked great. A lot of these gunners and in general, the punt coverage team has looked great. And it's really been a breath of fresh air for this Packers special teams, which, was easily the worst special teams on all sides of special teams with punts, kickoffs, and returns last year. So to finally see a pretty good punt unit, it's a breath of fresh air. And this also adds into my first point, basically making it harder on the Patriots offense and Brian Hoyer. If you pin them deep on punts, make them drive, 90 yards to get points, it's going to be a lot harder for Brian Hoyer to do that than, say, starting at his own 40. Giving this Patriots offense tough situations to start in could cause great concern for their offense and even win this game. Now we'll see if the newest Packers signing, Corey Ballentine, ends up being elevated from the practice squad. He actually is a pretty good kick returner, so they might end up doing that, throwing him right in at kick return. As of right now, it's been Amari Rodgers. He hasn't really done much on either kick return or punt return. Now, Corey Ballentine is a pure kick returner. He's never returned punts in his career. So if he were to be elevated, it would be for a depth cornerback, a special teams player, and a kick returner. But that could also be a very big boost. Say if someone like Corey Ballentine gets elevated and all of a sudden has, 40, 50-yard kick return starting the Packers, in better field position off kickoffs, again, winning that field position battle. But overall, I'm very confident in the Green Bay Packers in this game, especially if the quarterback for the Patriots is Brian Hoyer, which in my opinion, it definitely is going to be. But at the end of the day, you can never underestimate Bill Belichick as a head coach and what tricks he may have up his sleeve for this game. But this could be a great game for the Packers to build even more momentum on the defense, which has looked amazing the past few weeks, and hopefully put together a full four-quarter game for the offense. Just a reminder, I will be streaming during this game live here right on YouTube starting at 4:10 Eastern on Sunday, so make sure to come on by and hang out. But that about does it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below to support the channel, but I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.